Howdy guys, Bookie Laura here. I am continuing my one-woman mission to bring more festivity to BookTube. So today I thought that I would take you through some of my son's favourite winter books. Now we have so many books that there are a small selection which I split up into sort of different sections, and we only get them out at a certain time of year. So these books are not books that we have out all year, they're books that are part of a selection that we just get out at Christmas. We get them out when we put the decorations up. So I think that keeps them kind of exciting, and it gives a sense of occasion to the books, so they become a kind of nostalgia thing, I suppose, long term. But they're very exciting, because we only have them out during the month of December, and then they go away for another year. I asked him this evening to pick out a small selection of books. He picked out about half of them, but that's fine. If these are the ones he loves, these are the ones he loves. These are in no particular order, they're just the books that he's told me that he thinks are the best ones. And the first one we've got is The Snowman and the Snow Dog. Now we don't have a copy of The Snowman, the original book, but he does love to watch the animation. So I guess it probably comes from that, the reason that he adores this book. It's just a kind of really magical Christmas. In fact, he really likes all of the Raymond Briggs stuff, so it really isn't a surprise that he chose this. I'm not entirely sure where this book came from at all, because it says not to be sold separately on the back, so goodness knows. But it is literally just a retelling of the animation itself, with the pictures taken directly from it, and then a small amount of text to support it. But it's a really cute story, but one you can get through super fast as well. The second book which he chose was Sam's Snowflake. This is a story about bears. Basically, the idea is that Sam, the little boy bear, the little bear, is preparing, it's Christmas Eve, and he's preparing for Christmas. And then he's basically the story of his tragic waiting for his dad to come home and wondering, look at that sad picture, wondering whether he'll make it home in time for Christmas. And it's kind of emotional in that respect, but there's a lot of Christmas sort of fun going on in it. And then, long story short, I mean, I don't want to spoil the ending for you, but Dad is there come Christmas, so it's a beautiful moment. Christmas miracle, some might say. A few of these we have read already this year, given that we're now well into December, so I think that that's the reason they came on the list. But the next one up is The Polar Bear and the Snow Cloud. My son has a minor obsession with polar bears. He has a stuffed polar bear, which he absolutely adores, and I think that is definitely a theme amongst these books, is that he liked them because they had polar bears in them. It's quite a sad story, really, actually. It's about a polar bear who lives on his own, and he's so desperate for a friend that he sort of makes snow versions. So he makes like a snow owl, and then the next day it had melted away, and then he makes a snow whale, and the next day it had melted away. And I must admit that when I was reading this to my son, I was sort of having a look across at him, and the look of distress on his face was quite upsetting. However, the really good news is, in the end, he comes across a snow polar bear, and then it transpires that it's not a snow polar bear, it's a real one, and they become best friends. So it all ends okay, but I was a bit worried about the tragedy of the story to start with. And then another one that we've read very, very recently is One Snowy Night. I think he enjoys this because it's slightly more humorous. It comes from the series of books, Percy the Park Keeper. But yeah, basically it snows. And because it snows, Percy the Park Keeper goes into his house and into his bed to keep himself warm. And then over the course of the evening, different animals turn up at his door saying, "Oh, we're so cold, can we come in?" And of course he lets them all in. And it gets to the point where his bed is absolutely rammed full of creatures. And then I can't remember what something. Oh, they think they think a monster is coming, so they all go and hide. And then the places that they've hidden become perfect places to sleep. So not only do they all end up warm and safe, but they all have lovely little beds as well. He thought that was hilarious, the bit where they all fell out of bed. Hilarious. Another fave is Jack Frost. I really like this book for the illustrations. I mean, I'm not a massive illustrations person, but I think I like the kind of simplistic stencil-y design that they have going on. I think it creates atmosphere really, really well. The long and the short of it is, kid, I don't even know what's wrong with him. He hates winter. Then the frost comes and he loves it, and he harps on and plays with Jack Frost. And then Jack Frost says, yeah, but don't say spring is coming, or something like that. Yeah. And then one day he does. He says, oh look, it's almost spring. And then Jack Frost doesn't come back, and it's really tragic. A lot of these Christmas books are very tragic, you know. There's a lot of heartbreak when they're in winter time. Next up is Say Hello to the Snowy Animals. This is probably / definitely aimed at much younger children than my son, because basically it's just a bunch of animals that he says say hello to them, and then they make their animal noise back. But I guess there were polar bears, so it was definitely going to feature on the list. I mean, there's nothing much to say about it, that's all that happens. It says say hello to the, I don't know, whale, and then hello whale, swish, swash, whatever. And then the last but not least is probably his favourite, and definitely mine, because it feels like a real story, not just something that's forced for Christmas time. And that is Big Bear, Little Brother. Again, polar bear. But this time it's about a polar bear that's sort of chilling out on his own. He's living life on his own. He seems quite happy. And then a kid seemingly falls from the sky, which is a bit unnerving. Yeah, was tumbling through the sky just like a snowflake. So God knows where he came from. But the polar bear saves him, and then they traipse about basically being friends, and it's all really lovely until the boy's dad shows up, who's obviously been searching for him, and, you know, and then at the end they are separated, which is eternally tragic, but he does say, I'll never forget you and you'll live in my heart forever. So they go and live separate lives. It's really beautiful. So all these are a small selection of the winter books that we read, but these are definitely my son's favourite. In fact, there is another one that I forgot to mention, which is The Grinch. And the reason I forgot to include it is because we literally just read it 10 minutes before I filmed this video, and therefore I forgot to recollect it. But he loves The Grinch as well. I think it's the rhyming. Let me know if you've got any books that you particularly recommend around Christmas time. I'm looking to kind of develop this, so maybe a new book every year to add to the collection, and as he's now 6 and is capable of reading books on his own, it would be cool to have kind of something gradually growing into more grown-up books. So do let me know if you have any recommendations. Christmas is coming, I'm very excited, and I can't stop talking about Christmas, so let's move on. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.